This is another CQ Blind Hams podcast.
Today we're talking about setting up a Pi-Star hotspot for DMR. May look at some other modes also. My name is Chris, November Echo 5 Victor in Liberty Hill, Texas. There are several of these hotspots available that are Pi-Star based. I'm not going to try to mention all of them. There's the Jumbo Spot, the Zoom Spot. Mine is a Nano Spot. But whatever spot it is, if it's Pi-Star, it's Pi-Star. First thing one needs to do is, once the Pi-Star is assembled, and I don't plan to get into that, some of them you can buy already assembled, is make sure you have Wi-Fi connectivity. Now, some of the hotspot sellers will configure this for you. There's several ways of going about it. Mine, I had to hook a cable up to the hotspot, run it to the computer, and then use a series of Linux commands to edit it and put in the Wi-Fi credentials. Some of the others are a little more simple than that. You go to a Pi-Star Wi-Fi config builder. And I may let someone else tackle that one because I really haven't, but essentially all it is you go to this particular website and there's a form where you fill in your Wi-Fi credentials, which would be your SSID, whether it's your iPhone, Android phone, or home Wi-Fi. You put in your SSID and password. They are case sensitive. But then you save this file on the computer. And then a lot of the hotspots have an SD card that you can pull the SD card out, put it into a card reader, and then put that particular file in the root directory of your SD card. Make sure you don't reformat. You don't want to do that. Anyway, once you get that file on there, I don't know, it's a long file name, but part of it has the word supplicant in it. But anyway, once you get it in the root directory, you put your SD card in and boot up your hotspot, and it moves it to the appropriate place, and you're good to go. So for purposes, I'm going to assume that's been done. So what you want to do, once you do that, is you can connect up to your hotspot with a web browser. I prefer Chrome. The Internet Explorer doesn't really do too well with them. Firefox does, but it tends to jump around a bit. So I like Chrome, but a lot of this should be doable. At least you should be able to see what we're referring to. And on the Windows machines, you can normally get to these by doing http://Pi-Star. I believe it's Pi-Star in a lot of cases. Mine's different. But at some point, if you really want, you can even change that if you want, which I can show you about. But in any event, we're going to assume that one is connected. In some cases,
NE5V.
Well, in my case, I had to find the internal IP address of my hotspot. For whatever reason, it doesn't want to do that. But anyway, I'm going to assume for the purposes of this that you are connected to the hotspot.
Vertical bar. Visited link configuration.
Now, if one wants to go configure for DMR, first thing once you do is find the configuration page. And when one goes on here,
Enter. Sign in dialog. Username edit.
you get a sign-in box where you put in a username and password. Now, the default for these things is usually PI*, PI,
E-I
dash,
S-T-A-R.
star, STAR,
Password edit.
tab over to the password field, and usually it's Raspberry, all lowercase.
Star. Sign in button.
Mine is, so I'm going to do
Space.
that.
Vertical bar.
Yeah, where are you?
NE5V. Land. Visited link dashboard. Visited link expert.
So now we're going to go
Vertical
down.
bar. Visited link power. Visited vertical bar.
You have
Link
all sorts of things
vertical
here.
bar. Link factory reset. Land. Gateway hardware information. Land. Table with 5 visited link hostname. Visited link kernel. Visited link platform.
And you have all sorts of information
Visited
here.
link CPU mode. Visited link CPU temp. Land. NATO dash spot. 3.4.113 dash SUN8I. SUN8I. Paste I clone.
These are just, this is a hardware and gateway hardware information.
1.28/1.16/0.89. 38 degrees C/100.4 degrees Fahrenheit.
So that means at the moment my operating temperature on the hotspot is 38 degrees Celsius, 104 degrees Fahrenheit.
Table end.
Now, another way I could have bypassed this is within BDA and JAWS, you can hit a T to go to the next table.
Land. Control software.
Now, this is the control software.
Land. Table with 2 columns and 3 rows. Visited link setting. Visited link value.
You get all sorts of settings and values here.
Land. Visited link controller software colon.
Controller software.
D-star repeater radio button not checked. 1 of 2.
That's a D-star repeater, which since we're in simplex mode, you really don't want.
D-star repeater. MMDVM host left parent DV dash mega minimum firmware 3.07 required right parent radio button checked. 2 of 2.
So anyway, you can leave that. Make sure that that particular checkbox is checked there.
MMDVM host left parent DV dash mega minimum firmware 3.07 required right parent. Visited link controller mode colon.
Controller mode.
Simplex mode radio button checked. 1 of 2. Simplex mode. Duplex repeater left parent or half dash duplex on hotspots right parent radio button not checked. 2 of 2.
Mine is a simplex node, so I want to make sure the simplex node is checked, which in this case it is.
Duplex repeater left parent or half dash duplex on hotspots right parent. Table end. Land. Apply changes button.
Now, if I had made any changes, you apply changes. Now, one thing about this, when you're going to see this apply changes button several times, and you're going to want to make sure you do it with each before moving on to the next section, because if you don't, well, then all your changes are lost. So on down there we go.
Land. MMDVM host configuration.
MMDVM host configuration. This is where you
Land. Table with 3
enable your
columns.
modes.
Visited link setting. Visited link value. Land. Visited link DMR mode colon. Land. RF hand time colon. 20. Edit value. 4302. RF hand time colon edit 20.
Now, these modes, I'm going to come back to this in a little bit. Supposedly there are some toggle switches that a sighted person can hit with the mouse. Unfortunately, there's no easy way to do this with a screen reader. It doesn't really matter which one. But there are things you can decide right here. And we'll come back and enable these in a little bit. I think they're already enabled at the moment on mine. But RF hang time, what happens is that these things can operate more than one mode if you want. Mine I have set to operate DMR and D-star. Those are the 2 modes that I have enabled. The RF hang time determines how many seconds it will pause before it scans for another mode. Right now, these default to 20. I haven't changed them. So the RF hang time is on the DMR mode is 20. These are in terms of seconds. So it's 20 seconds.
Net hang time colon edit 20.
Same thing here. The net hang time.
Setting colon row 3. D dash star mode colon link. Value RF hang time colon edit 20. Net hang time colon edit 20. Setting colon row 4. IST mode colon link.
There's YSF mode.
Value RF hang time colon edit 20.
Right
Net
now,
hang time colon edit 20. Setting colon value RF hang time colon edit 20. Setting P25 mode colon link.
P25 mode, so it'll do P25 also.
Row 6. Value RF net hang time colon edit 20. Setting colon row 7. YSF2 DMR colon link. IST2 NXDN colon link. YSF2 P25 colon link.
These are cross modes.
DMR2 YSF colon link. DMR2 NXDN colon link. POXAC colon link. MMDVM display type colon link. Combo box OLED.
Now there's several displays, but for the time being,
OLED.
OLED is the one you want because it's going to be. It references the display type that's on your it's your display type, the one that's on your hotspot itself.
Port colon combo box modem.
And so you'll want modem for the port right here.
Next gen layout colon combo box G4KLX.
G4KLX for next gen, you can leave that as is.
Apply changes button.
Apply changes. So we're about to
Gold wave.
approach another section here.
Gold wave 3. Configuration. LAN. Table with 3 visited link setting. Visited LAN. Visited link hostname colon. Escape. Version does not visited link host colon NATO dash spot. Edit. Misspelled. Ed. LAN. Apply changes button. Table column. Table column. Dashboard language colon link. Combo box America / system times value public value call 3010 auto rate NE5V 5 columns and 2 rows 2 columns and visited link value visited link setting table with 2 columns and 3 rows LAN control software LAN 3 columns and 3 table with LAN MMDVM host configuration LAN table with 3 columns and table LAN general configuration LAN table visited link setting value column header call 2 row 1 value link setting colon row 2 hostname colon link value edit NATO dash spot.
Now, all right, I'm in the general configuration. This is your host name, and by default it'll be pi-star or whatever it happens to be. Mine happens to be nanospot. You can change that if you want. I felt no need to do so, so I didn't.
Setting colon row 3 node Kelson colon link.
All right.
Value edit misspelled NE5V.
Here's your node call sign. You want to be sure to fill that in. In my case, it was NE5V. I tab once more.
Setting colon row 4 CCS7/DMRID colon link.
And then that says link for, all right, so then you tab once more.
Edit 3122590.
There's your DMR ID, which in this case was 3122590 was mine, so that's what you put in there.
Setting colon row 5 radio frequency colon link.
All right, and here's your radio frequency.
432.500.000.
Mine, I have 432.5. You know, it could be, there's any number. I've seen them several places. One guy has 433.25. I've seen some on 441, but anyway, my friend who helped me put this together, we settled on 432.5, so I've left it.
Setting colon row 6 latitude colon link.
So then you put in your, you can put in your longitude, latitude.
Value edit 30.6 knot. Setting colon row 7 longitude colon link. Value edit minus 98.01. Setting colon row 8 town colon link. Value
And
edit
here's your
Liberty
town.
Setting colon row 9 country colon link.
Then you put in your
Value,
country,
USA.
and I'm tabbing on through these.
Setting, colon, row 10. URL, colon, link.
And
Value, edit, misspelled, HTTP, colon.
this one actually points to your, by default, it points to a QRZ page with that, which has your biography if you've filled it out. I haven't. But this seems to be what it is by default when you first set these things up.
Radio button check, 1 of 2. Setting, colon, row 11. Radio / modem type, colon, link. Combo box, micro node, NATO dash spot, left parent, built in right parent.
Now this thing, these Pi stars have all sorts of radios that you can use these things on. You almost need to be careful. But when you first get your Pi star, pay attention to what modem it's using, because you may need to use this a little. You may need to know this again. But be sure you make note of what it is. Just to give you an example, I can kind of look at these here a minute. Let's open this up.
Expanded. Dash. Icon repeater controller ID dash RE2 C left parent D star repeater only right parent. DB dash mega raspberry Pi add left parent GPIO right parent dash single band left parent 70 CM right parent. DB dash mega raspberry Pi add left parent GPIO right parent dash dual band.
Anyway.
DB dash mega Arduino left parent USB dash / Pi USB 0 right parent dash dual band. DB dash mega Arduino left parent USB.
There's evidently several choices here.
USB dash / Pi USB 0 right parent dash DMSK modem. DB dash mega Arduino left parent USB dash DB dash mega BlueStack left. DB dash mega BlueStack left parent USB right parent dash dual band.
And I'm not sure.
DB dash mega cast base.
It just depends on which one you have.
Left MMDVM / MMDVM underline HS / TC / zum left parent USB right parent. STM32 dash DVM / M STM. Zum spot liberal left parent USB right parent. Zum spot dash USB stick.
Anyway.
Zum spot dash rack. Zum radio dash MMDVM. Micro node NATO dash spot left parent built in right.
Anyway, that happens to be mine.
Micro node NATO dash spot left parent built in right parent. Setting colon row 12. Node type colon link. Value public radio button check 2 of 2.
Now you can either have these as public or private nodes. In other words, nobody else can use it. So say if somebody were to have another call sign or ID, I don't think it would accept it. I believe a lot of people recommend private on this one. Mine happens to be public for the moment because right now there's nobody else nearby me.
Setting colon row 13. APRS host colon link. Combo box texas.apple2.net.
So there's several APR hosts, which I'm not exactly sure. The one closest to us is in Texas, but there are several lists in this combo box. Find the one closest to you.
System time zone colon link.
Now, system time zone.
Combo box America / Chicago.
So there's several choices here. You can find the one that's closest to you. Mine happens to be America, Chicago, because your hotspot will show a time display as to, when things are happening. So you'll probably want it on the time zone for your area. Of course, unless you're in Arizona on daylight savings time, and then, things, you have to do things a little differently.
Dashboard language colon link.
Here's your dashboard language.
Combo box English underline us.
There's several choices there. Probably I've seen some people use US or UK. UK sounds kind of neat when you do it.
Apply changes button.
So there's another apply changes. If I'd made any changes, I would do it there.
Table column 1, row 1. Setting column header colon row 1. Setting link. Value column header value link. Setting colon row 2. DMR master colon link.
But now I've got to come back. And do something here, because here are your configurations. And the only way you're going to see these, the only ones you're going to actually see right here are the ones that are enabled. Now, as I say, unfortunately, those toggles that we experimented with earlier are not accessible.
Visited link dashboard. Visited link admin. Visited link expert.
So the only way you can actually do these is in the expert editor mode.
Enter.
So I'm going to go up to the top, and I found where it said expert editors. And now I want to do an edit on the MMDVM host.
Visit vertical, visit link backup slash revert, visit quick edit colon, link D star repeater, vertical bar, link DDB gateway, vertical bar, link time server, vertical bar, visited link MMDVM host.
There it is, MMDVM host. So I want to edit this one.
Enter. I-star digital voice dashboard expert.
And this actually is similar to what we were seeing before.
Land. Apply changes button. Land. Table N. Land.
Let's see
Escape.
here.
Virtual PC daemon. Land. 1. Edit.
A lot of these
Escape.
things you
Virtual
want to leave
display.
alone.
Escape. Virtual display. Land. Escape. Virtual PC. I-star.
Let me get up here to where.
Back configuration. MMDVM. ISG double. P25 G double. DMRGW link. MMDVM host link. Time server link. P20. NXT.
Get back
Admin
here.
DMR. Wi-Fi link. DMAP. Admin API link. System cron link. RSSI that link. CSS tool link. SSH access. Table. Column 2. Row 2. General. Row 2. Row 2. Kelson edit. Misspelled. NE5V.
All right, yeah, I'm at this general again. My call sign is NE5V, so we'll leave that alone.
ID edit 3122590.
There's your ID 3122590 in my case.
Timeout edit 240.
Can leave that alone for a bit.
Duplex edit 0. RF mode and edit 300. Net mode and edit 300. Display edit misspelled 08. Daemon edit 1. Apply changes button. Table column 2 row 2 info call 2 row 2 RX frequency edit 432500000.
See, a lot of this is the same as we saw before.
43250 power edit 1. Latitude edit 30 points. Longitude edit. Height edit 0. Location edit limit. Description edit. URL edit misspelled. Apply changes but table column 2 row 2 log call 2 row 2 display level edit 0.
These are log files. So what I'm going to do is I'm looking for a particular entry here. So all of these are in tables.
Apply changes button. 2 columns and 5 rows. Table with 2 columns and 5 rows. Blank. Apply changes blank. Table with log. Display level. 2 columns and 3 rows. Table with 2 CWID. Enable. 0. Table end. Blank. Apply changes blank. Table with 2 DMR ID lookup.
DMR lookup, that's your host files here where all your DMR IDs are that's what your hotspot looks up.
DMR ID lookup. Call 2 row 2. File edit slash misspelled slash local. Time edit 24.
Now right here is your time zone, whether it uses 12 hours or 24. I've left it at 24.
Apply changes table column 2 row 2 NXDN ID lookup call 2 row time edit apply changes table column 2 row 2 modem call 2 row 2 port edit slash misspelled dev TX import edit 1 RX import edit 0 TX delay TX offset edit RX level TX level
I'll come back to this modem table.
RF level edit
In a little bit.
DMRT P25 TF RSSI map trace edit 0 debug toxic level edit apply changes but table column 2 row 2 transparent data hold remote port edit 40 local port edit 40 table column 2 row 2 call 2 row 2 enable edit 0 port edit slash apply changes table column 2 row 2 D dash star call 2 row 2 enable 1 take 1 edit act message edit 0 escape work act message blank 0 edit act message edit apply changes table column 2 row 2 DMR call 2 row 2 enable edit 1.
Now, here's where you find your various modes.
Apply changes
Let me make
table
sure
column
it's
2
up
row
here.
10 mode hang edit 20 remote gateway edit 0 error reply edit 1 act time edit accurate cell phone edit Z module edit enable edit apply changes table column 2 row 3 call 2 row 3 port edit slash misspelled apply change table column 2 row 2 D dash star call 2 row 2 enable edit 1
Okay, I have D-Star enabled, and
module edit B.
Here's your module edit. But really, at this point, all we really want to do is enable them. with this expert editor. So we've gone to D-Star, and right now that one's enabled.
Self-only edit 0. Reply edit 1.
Oh, well, as to this we'll
750.
deal with
edit
later
1.
here.
Remote gateway edit 0. Mode hand edit 20. Add message edit 0. Apply changes button.
So I can apply that for D-Star.
Table column 2, row 2, DMR, full 2, row 2. Enable edit 1.
Now that's what you want. You want to enable the DMR.
Beacons edit 0. Beacon interval edit 60. Beacon duration edit 2.
A lot of this you can.
Code edit 1.
A lot of this we're going to change. If you want to, you can go ahead and set your color code here as 1.
Self-only edit 0. Embedded LC only edit 1. Numpod data edit 1. Call hand edit 3. TX hand edit 4. Mode hand edit 20. ID edit 31222590. Apply changes button.
Go to apply changes. I didn't make any changes, but anyway, we can do that. So now we're going to go back after we've done this. Unfortunately, this is going to be kind of a long way around, but I don't know of any other way to do that. Okay, I need to make an addendum here. This
Control.
whole tutorial was based on JAWS. And thanks to Noel, K5NER, I should have been looking at some of this with NVDA. So, NVDA offers a way to toggle these modes, switches for DMR, D-Star, Yazen Fusion, and the like. So, I'll demonstrate this. I am in the MMVDM, or anyway, I'm in this host configuration.
NE5V digital voice dashboard configuration Google Chrome row 1 column 1. NE5V blank button applied MMDVM host
MMDVM host configuration. Now with NVDA, you see some things that JAWS doesn't show you.
Table with 13 rows and 3 columns. Row 1 setting, column 1 visited link setting. Value column 2 through 3 visited link.
I'm down arrowing, otherwise I'll miss this.
Row 2 setting, column 1 visited link DMR mode colon.
Now there's the DMR mode. It is turned on, and I want to leave it on. However, if I want to turn it off, right below I have something that says value.
Value column 2.
If I want to turn DMR mode off, I would hit enter here. That would turn it off.
Value column 3 RF hang time colon.
See,
Edit 20 net hang time colon. Edit
so
20.
Now let's go to the next mode.
RF hang time colon. Edit row 2. Row 3 setting column 1 D-star mode colon.
There's
visited
the D-star
link.
mode.
Value column 2.
See, there's a value right there. If I wanted to turn D-star off, which I do not, I would hit that.
RF hang row 4 setting column 1 YSF mode RF hang time colon 20 net hang time edit row 4. Row 5 setting column 1 P25 mode colon.
I've got P25 mode. Now at the moment it is off. You see what this is?
2 P2 5 space M O D E.
All right, P25. So now down below here
Value column 2
is a value button. I'm going to hit enter on it. And then I'm going to hit
apply changes button.
Which I just did. Now, let's find the general configuration.
Find in page any, no next graphic. Table with 15 rows and out of table general configuration.
All right, there's the general configuration. Now, this will tell us which modes are on.
Table with 15 rows and 3 columns. Row 1 setting column 1 visited link setting. Value row 2 setting column 1 visited link host name colon. Value column 2 through 3 edit nano dash spot. Do not add suffixes such as .local.
Okay, so there's the actual host name.
Row 3 setting
But what we're
column 1
looking for
visited link
modes.
node call sign colon. Row 4 setting column 1 visited link CCS7. Row 5 setting column 1 visited link radio frequency. Row 6 setting column 1 visited link latitude colon. Table with 8 value column 2 visited link value. Setting column out of table DMR configuration.
See, there's my DMR configuration.
Value column 2 combo box collapse. Value column
Let's go
2
to the next
table with
table.
8 blank. Button apply change D dash star configuration.
There's the D-star configuration.
Table with 8 rows and 3. Table with 4 out of table Yaesu system fusion
There's
configuration.
the Yaesu system fusion because I've enabled the DMR to YSF cross mode.
Table with 4 rows and
So let's go to the next table.
table with out of table P25
There's
configuration.
my P25, which is now on.
Table with 3 rows and
Now the next table
table with out of table firewall
is the
configuration.
firewall. So that is with it on. Now, if I want to turn P25 off, let's go up
Pi
here.
dash start. Find in page NE5V dash digit
P25.
5.
Let's see if this
Result
will
4
work.
of 5. NE5V dash digital value column 2 combo box collapse 10,001 setting column 1 visited link P25 startup host colon row 1 setting out button apply changes. Pi dash
Let's
start
go
colon
back to the tables here.
table value setting column 1 visited link setting out of table control software table
This will
with
be the
table
next
with
table.
out of table MMDVM host config
There we are. So now we're going to look for P25 mode.
row 2 value column 2 value column 3 RF hang time value column 2 setting column 1 visited link YSF value column 3 RF hang time row 5 setting column 1 value column 2 setting column 1 visited link P25 value column 2
There it is.
setting
P25.
value column
There's the value. So I'm going to hit enter on this value.
apply changes button
Apply changes. So now, let's find our
NE5V.
configurations.
no next heading level 1 pi dash CPU load table row 2 stopping services and applying your configuration changes
Oh, I gotta wait for that to finish.
blank control software table with 3 rows and table with out of table MMDVM host configuration row table out of table general configuration
Here we
table
go.
with 15 table out of table DMR
There's
configuration
my DMR configuration.
table with out of table D dash star
There's
configuration
the D-star.
table with out of table Yaesu system
There's
fusion
the Yaesu system fusion.
table with 6 out of table firewall
Ah, looky there, firewall. So the P25 configuration is no longer there because the mode is not enabled. So that's a good thing to know. If you use NVDA, you can actually control those toggles. And these were the ones that yesterday I said the only way was to change the expert editor. I think I prefer it that way, but it is not the only way. So, as like so many other things in Windows, you know, there's so many different ways you can actually change things. You can choose your poison. So let's go back up to the configuration page.
Visited link dashboard. Enter.
Oops, that's not what I wanted.
Visited link dashboard. Visited link admin. Visited link configure. Enter.
Configuration is what I want. Now, I've done a lot of configuration. Of course, now if the DMR is enabled, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to do a JAWS find with a Control F.
JAWS find dialog. M-A-S-T-E-R.
And I'm going to look for master.
Enter. Visited escape. Land. Visited link value. Visited tick land. DMR configuration.
Anyway, if you want to be sure, go up and this is the DMR configuration page.
Land. Tape. Visited link setting. Visited link value. Setting. Colon row 2. DMR master colon link. Combo box. DM underline United underline States underline 3103.
All right, here's your list of servers, and there's gobs and gobs and gobs of them. Not only do we have Brandmeister, we have DMR Plus, TGIF, XLX, all sorts of them. But if you're in the United States, normally the ones you're going to want are 3101, 3102, 3103, and let's see.
DM underline United underline States underline 3108. DM underline United underline States
3108. Those are the four that are in the United States. I know the 3102 is in Texas. 3103, I believe, is California. 3108 is Atlanta. I forget exactly where 3101 is. And then again, some people like the 3021 in Canada. But it's good to know about a lot of these because sometimes the servers tend to drop. And you can quickly go in here and change servers. So if you ever have to change servers in a hurry, I go to the configuration page, put in the username and password, and then I'll do a find on master, and that'll give me my server list, and then I can change that and apply changes.
Security colon link. Value password edit.
You know what? I don't know that I've ever put a password in here, but you can put a secure password in for your hotspot.
Setting colon row 4. Brandmeister network colon link. Value repeater information link. Edit repeater left parent Brandmeister self care right parent link.
If you're on Brandmeister, you'll want to leave the self care.
Setting colon row 5. DMR asset colon link. 3,122,590 combo box none. DMR color code colon link. Combo box 1.
There's your color code. There's another thing with DMR ESSNID that I'm not exactly sure what all is, but I left it alone for the time being. But the color code is 1.
DMR embedded LZ only colon link. DMR dump top data colon link.
And I discovered these fields too are only accessible with the expert editor. We found them a while ago under the DMR configuration, and they're either going to be at 1 or 0. By default, they're at 1. I'm not exactly sure what they are, but I left them. Now, I have heard reports if you get too much packet loss, you can turn off that last switch there.
Visited link DMR dump top data colon MR space DUMPTA.
Oh yeah, dump top, which is dump talker alias. That's what that is. If you don't really need to have your call signs come up on a display, you can turn that off. Supposedly things work better, so I'm told. I don't know. I've never turned that off. All right, let's keep tabbing through here.
Apply changes button.
There's the apply changes. So if we make any, apply them there.
Table column 1, row 1. Setting column header colon row 1. Setting link. Value column header value link. Setting colon row 2. RTT1. Kelson colon link.
All right, here's my D-Star configuration. if somebody wants to know about these, we can get to them in a different tutorial. But at the moment, we're concerned with DMR, so I think I'm going to skip these.
New link. Setting, colon, row 2. Dashboard access, colon, link.
Okay, here's your, right here, we're going to get into some firewall settings. And most of these should be probably
Value, private radio button checked, 1 of 2.
set to private. You have private or public, so you can get on to
Setting,
here.
colon, row 3. ERC-DB gateway remote, colon, link. Value, private radio button checked, 1. Setting, colon, row 4. SS, value, private radio button checked, 1 of, setting, colon, row 5. Auto AP, colon, link. Value, on radio button checked, 1 of 2.
All right, auto AP, auto access point. That's a rather important one. You'll want it on. Because what the auto access point allows is if you have several wireless configurations, if it doesn't find one, it will find another. It'll find the next in line. In my case, my first one that it looks for is my iPhone hotspot. If that's turned off, then it'll go to my home Wi-Fi. And if that's not on, well, then the next one I have in line is when I went to visit my sister-in-law. Her configuration is in there. We can look at those in a little bit here.
Setting, colon, row 6. UPnP, colon, link. Value, on radio button checked, 1 of 2.
UPnP should be on.
Apply changes button. Frame, refresh button.
All right.
Refresh button. Reset Wi-Fi adapter button.
Now, wireless configuration. We can look at this a little bit if you want, but that's really possibly for another.
Configure Wi-Fi button. Refresh button. Reset Wi-Fi adapter button. Configure what table, column 2,
Let's
row
see,
2,
there's
password, cold, confirm, here link.
Okay. And then the other thing is your remote password. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, we might look at this Wi-Fi configure.
Edit.
You can see what it actually looks like.
Space, refresh button, digital voice dashboard Wi-Fi refresh button, configure Wi-Fi button. Table, column 2, row 2, password, colon 2, row 2, password, password edit. Escape, password, password, username. Table with 3, username, password, password edit, password edit, escape, confirm, password, here for the support group link. Refresh button. Apply changes.
Okay.
Table. Column. Setting. UPF. Value. Call to set. Apply changes. Frame. Reset Wi-Fi adapter. Configure Wi-Fi button. Space. Digital
Configure
voice
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi config button. 1 frame. 1 edit. Wi-Fi info button. Delete button. Wi-Fi info button. Network 0.
Now I can show you what networks are in here. I have 3. Now at this point I can, if I don't want to get rid of them, I can, because the first one up here is delete.
Delete button.
I don't want to.
SSID colon. Edit. Chris iPhone.
There's my iPhone.
Password edit. Bullet.
There's my password field.
Delete button.
Now here's your next word.
SSID colon edit. Misspelled. My Spectrum Wi-Fi 61 dash. Password edit. Bullet. Delete button. SSID colon edit. Misspelled. Eris dash. Misspelled. FCC7.
There's my sister-in-law's.
Scan for networks. Left parent. Sex right parent button. Add network button.
Now there are 2 choices here. Like if I wanted to add another configuration, I can either type in the values manually or I can scan for near Wi-Fi. I'm not going to do that, but in any event, you can.
Save left parent and connect right parent button on mouse over.
And then you can save. It says save and connect, but it really only saves.
Table, column 2, row 2, password,
And then
2, row
it
2,
does.
escape, virtual.
Anyway, so now this is pretty much almost ready. There's some other areas that we may take a look at here. But the first thing we can actually do here is this should be pretty much ready. So I have a private I have an echo set up in here. So I'm going to key up the radio and do an echo test and see if it actually works. All right, here we go. November Echo 5 Victor testing on Parrot. This should give me 50 seconds of audio if I want it. I don't want that much. I want just enough to make sure that it works. November Echo 5 Victor. November Echo 5 Victor testing on Parrot. This should give me 50 seconds of audio if I want it. I don't want that much. I want just enough to make sure that it works. November Echo 5 Victor. Yeah, it did. A little bit of packet loss, but that seems to be. Now, there are some steps you can do to correct this. We're going to go into some other fields pretty quickly. So I'm going to go back into the expert editor.
Visited link dashboard. Visited link admin. Visited link expert. Enter. I-star-digital voice dashboard.
I'm in the expert editor. I'm going to go back to this MMDVM host. I want to edit
Visited
that.
link DMRGW. Visited link MMDVM host.
There it is, MMDVM host.
I-star-digital voice dashboard expert editor. One heading.
Now, a lot of what I want is going to be in the modem table. So I can either hit T per table and go to modem, and all of that stuff. But since I know where I want to go at this point, I'm going to do a find on modem.
Modem. Modem. Pull 202. Port edit. / misspelled. Dev / TX and word edit. 1.
What I'm looking for now is the RX offset.
RX and word edit 0. PTT and word edit 0. TX delay edit 0. RX offset edit -50.
There it is. Now, if you find you're getting a higher BER rate than you want, you can adjust this. Some of the boards that come with the jumbo spots and so forth, if you open up the cases, have a recommended setting for that. There's also a tool available, which I don't think appears to be accessible. So, it may mean adjusting these things in small deviations. Mine, some are, I've heard some as high as -475, which is hertz. Mine is set at 50. Okay, now.
TX offset edit 0.
You have TX offset.
DMR delay edit 0.
DMR delay edit.
RX level edit 100.
And then you have receive levels and transmit levels for your hotspot. At the moment, mine are at 100. It probably doesn't default to that, but I was running into some difficulties. And I had to shift them around to make the radio work. Now these with real hot microphones, this is where you might want to play with the adjustments. The RX level and TX levels.
TX level edit 100. RX level edit 100.
RX level, of course, is the audio received by your hotspot from your radio. The TX level is what is transmitted out of the hotspot, what your radio receives. So you may want to play with those a little bit.
TX level, RX DC offset edit 0. TX DC offset edit 0. RF level edit 25.
Now, this is another one I played with. The DC offset I've left alone. RF level. This is the amount of power your hotspot puts out. I think by default mine was at 50. I'm never that far away from it, so I decided to drop it to 25. I could probably even go lower because our house is fairly small, but for the time being, it's at 25.
CWNTX
Yeah.
level edit 50.
There's your CWID level.
D-star TX level edit 50.
There's your D-star.
DMR-TX level edit 73.
I've been playing with this transmit level from DMR because some of the radios, I don't know, the two different radios seem to act a little bit differently. I was experiencing some drop and some other things, so I started playing with this particular level, the DMR transmit level, and that seemed to help it because but probably no more than 75. It may default to 50, I think. But I ran it. Mine right now is sitting at 73, and that seems to be what works.
YSFTX level edit 50.
You got all of
TX
these.
level edit 50. NXDNTX level edit 50. RSSI mapping file edit. Trace edit 0. Debug edit. Toxics level edit 50. Apply changes button.
There's some other things that I've never used right there, but anyway, apply changes. And so your configuration is set up. So now we're going to look at something else here. I'm going to go to the dashboard. We'll see how this thing looks. First thing you have on your dashboard are all sorts of things like
heading level of land, visited link, vertical bar, visited link dashboard, vertical bar, visited link admin.
you have and admin view,
Vertical bar, visited link
configuration,
gateway activity.
gateway activity. Now the easiest way to get to this gateway activity is to, if you're on NVDA or JAWS, you can use your table command, which is a T. And now if we start arrowing down, I found the gateway activity table.
Land, table with 8 columns and 20 rows.
There's 8 columns and 20 rows in this particular table.
Link time left parent, CDT right parent.
Okay, time, which is Central Daylight Time.
Link mode.
Mode, which in this case could either be DMR or D-Star on mine.
Link Calcin.
The call sign,
Link target.
target,
Link SRC. Link target.
which is the talk group or a reflector, depending on whether you're on DMR or D-Star.
Link SRC.
Source can be either net or RF. So in other words, you've really got 2 tables here. One shows the activity coming into the hotspot, and one table shows a table going out of the hotspot. At the moment, we're looking at the table that's in the hotspot.
Linker left parent as right parent. U.
Duration in seconds.
Link loss.
There's your packet loss column.
Linker.
There's your bit error rate.
124744 John 10.
So now, see, here we go. Here's the first entry, 1247.
Link 124744 John.
1247.44 seconds
DMR slot 2.
on DMR slot 2. By the way, most of your hotspots, they normally work slot 2. DMR normally has slot 1 and slot 2, but in most cases with these boards here, there are slot 2. So when you're programming a radio, you use slot 2.
9990.
9990 is the. Now this is the one that came back to me.
NE5V. Net 16.3 net.
See, the source is net, so this is actually the response back to my test.
16.3.
16.3 seconds.
6%.
6% packet loss.
0.0%.
0.0% bit error rate.
1247 June 2610.
Now the next one down, this, in other words, it's from most recent to Yeah, it's in descending order. You'll see your most recent activity, and it goes on
0,
down.
47 June, DMR slot 2, link NE5V,
Now here's mine.
9990, RF,
See, it came in. It came into the hotspot, so it has RF.
15.1,
15.1 seconds.
0%,
0%,
0.4%,
4%.
1246 June, 0.4%, 0%, 0.4%,
So it was zero packet loss going in, and with a BER rate of 0.4% going into it. So there was some packet loss on the server.
1246 June, 410,
If I go down further, I'm going to
DMR
find
slot
some
2.
others. DMR slot 2,
link G3VSH,
G3VSH.
TG31679,
There's our blind ham stock group 31679.
net,
Net.
0.8,
He was on for 0.8 of a second.
0%,
0% packet loss.
0.0%,
0%.
1242 June 19,
And this goes onward
DMR slot
and
2,
onward and
link
onward.
N2HJA,
Into HJA. Well, we can find several of these like this. Anyway, that's sort of
Gold
what
wave,
that looks
Gold wave,
like. So let's see. Stop a minute.
Control F7, NE5V dash digital,
Another thing one can do
NE5,
is one can
8 columns and 20,
make sure that your code plug is programmed. If you're checking out a code plug and you want to see if your frequency is working, you can do that. So let's see. I'm going to go. All right. Now, at this point,
table with 8 columns, link time, left parent, CDT, right parent,
I have programmed in a talk group that consists of my DMR ID because I wanted a small group to be able to use it. And it works ideally for this test purpose. So I'm going to go back up to the top of this gateway activity. The easiest way I did a control home, took me to the top of the page, hit a T, go down to the table. So I'm going to key up my radio here, and I'm going to start looking in this table. NE5V test.
table with 8 columns and 20, link time, left parent, CDT, or link mode, link house, link SRC, link ver, left parent, link loss, link ver, 130142 John 10,
Now see, I see 1301,
DMR slot 2,
DMR slot 2,
link NE5V,
NE5V,
TGN-E5V,
talk group NE5V because this is mine,
RF,
RF,
TX,
and it's actually still transmitting. So I could say, oh, guess what? Code plug is working. I'm going to release the microphone. I'm going to look at this again.
13014 DMR slot 2, link NE5V, TGN-E5V, RF, 31.7,
I was on for 31.7 seconds.
0%, 0.7%,
I had a 0% packet loss, 0.07 bit error rate, which, is acceptable. So that worked. So at least we know my hotspot. I can also tell that my hotspot is set up because, of course, the echo worked. The test on my talk group worked. I could go to another talk group and see if anybody's there. Let's see here. There's Blind Hams. Let's see if anybody's on here. It says November Echo 5 Victor on Blind Hams. Anybody about? It doesn't appear to be.
0.4 for 04 RTG 31679.
But I can see that I went there.
1303 June 22nd, DMR slot 2.
Because there's
Link NE5V, TG 31679.
there's my TG 31679.
RF,
I was
4.1,
on 4.1 seconds.
0%,
0% packet loss.
0.4%, 0.4%,
0.4% BER, which is decent anyway. So we know that works. Now, another thing you might want to make note of here. Also, we're going to go back into this configuration page.
Visited link admin. Visited link configuration. Enter. NE5.
PyStar has the ability to update its files. If you happen to leave it on, it'll do it nightly, but you can manually do an update by going down here to the update page.
Link backup / restore. Vertical link flag. Link factory / gateway hardware flag. Table with visited link kernel. Link backup / vertical visited link update.
Here we are. So if I hit an update, if I were to hit an update here, it would update. It would look for files. I'll go ahead and do this.
I-star-digital voice dashboard dash. I-star visited link dashboard. Visit vertical bar.
We'll see what it's doing.
Update running.
Update is running.
Starting update. Please wait.
Starting update.
Stopping services.
Stopping services.
Done. Updated DV binaries. No updates for / local / bin available. Done. Updated pi-star binaries. No updates for done. Updated bus done. Updated dashboard. No updates for /bar / www done. Updated pi-star firewall. I-star web config. Updated pi-star firewall. Done. Updated pi-star firewall.
Anyway, I'm waiting for this to show finished.
Done. Updated pi-star firewall. Done. Starting services. Done. Updates complete. Sleep finished.
Okay, so the update is finished. So another thing you'll want to do, once you get all of this done,
level 1 visited link dashboard.
Is you'll want to back up your settings.
Vertical bar. Visited link admin. Vertical visited link power. Vertical link backup / restore.
So you can go to a backup / restore right here. I haven't done this in a while.
Enter. I-star digital voice dashboard backup / restore. 1 heading and 7 links. Heading level 1 I-star digital voice back visited link dashboard. Vertical bar. Visited link vertical visited land. Table with backup / restore. Download configuration. Download config button. Restore configuration. Restore config button. Choose file button. Land. Warning : Land. Choose restore download config button. Download configuration. Backup / restore. Backup / restore. 1 row 2. Download config button.
I want to download my configuration file.
Enter. Alert. Downloading 0% remaining. Alert. Download complete : pi-star config nano spot 10-jun-2019.zip creator. Press shift + F6 to cycle to the downloads bar area.
So, anyway, this thing gave it a file name.
Backup / restore. Restore config button.
And it stores it as zip file. So if I mess up,
escape, leaving menus, gold wave, control,
I can go find it, and then in that same configuration, I can restore it. So there's the information on PyStar. Hope this is some use. 73, November Echo 5 Victor.